What is up, everybody? Good morning. Today is Friday, July 16th. Gonna have a hopefully a little quicker show today. There's a lot happening. I have a lot of stuff outside of the show that has to be handled today. The last 24 hours was mainly Chromie Squiggles, Ghost Cool Cats, and just buying of NFTs all around. Like the price action was pretty insane yesterday. This entire week was really the theme was just buy, buy, buy across the board. We did see some drops happen, but nothing of notable really going down. There was an art blocks drop where people are always going to buy art blocks at this point. I do think that Ghost is probably one of those iconic projects that I would look and reference to for like marketing and launching a project within this space right now. Um, so like whether you're like a photographer or a digital artist or you're doing like animation or just drawing like they are, the way that Ghost became successful was fostering community. Producing good content and good art and interacting with their community and not just going out there and saying buy this. They found people who enjoyed the art. They communicated with them. They used their ideas. It was back and forth. It was a two-way street. Um, and by doing this, I think they really bought equity with their customers and with their biggest fans. Those biggest fans went and shared to their friends. Those friends came in, became part of the family. So if you are currently looking to launch a project or in the process of it, not finding that traction, I think that you really need to try to foster a community around what you're doing. If you find only one person, that one person should be your biggest priority. To just, even if they don't buy it, like if they're just, I love your art, talk to them, get their feedback, ask them, are my prices too high? Is there something you think I could do differently? And I think you keeping good control of what you're doing, like don't let people come in and just influence everything, but like trying to interact and get an idea for how and why they like your stuff, and then trying to build that relationship is so important right now, because what we see across the board is just people saying, "Here's what I'm making, buy it." And to be genuine and ask and have that emotional connection makes you stand out and definitely sets you up for success in the long term. So with that said, we'll jump into today's kind of review and the floor prices. The big announcement that we saw yesterday that blew everybody's minds was that Ghost tweeted that they would be doing a collab of Cool Cats. We have no idea what this is going to look like, whether it's going to be kind of like, a run of a couple hundred, or there's going to be an airdrop, or, if there's going to be ghosts that look like cats or cats that look like ghosts. So it's kind of like this spooky, hey, there's something coming, that we're seeing every single project kind of like announce, and then coming soon. We've seen this across the board, and I wish that people would just announce like this is what's happening, this is what's coming, instead of this like anticipation news. But this sent the price of both projects higher. People that own cats that didn't have any exposure to the Ghost project went in and buying the floor there. Obviously, a much higher floor than with the cats. And then people that didn't have cats or wanted to double down, triple down, quadruple down on their bet on cats, going and buying the floor. We saw yesterday's floor price of 0.55 quickly rise almost all the way up to 1 ETH yesterday. I think that's pulled back. We'll look at that in a minute. But yes, that was quite the frenzy. Another interesting thing just to talk about real quick is that we did have a discussion yesterday in a spaces talking about what you can do with NFTs and their utility. This was through NFTX. Just a quick kind of like intro into the DeFi mechanics that you can do with NFTs. So I purchased a lady, was able to send it to the vault, took the lady, the dollar sign lady, and then added liquidity, and then I have a position of the vault. I'll try to put out a video on this. I don't know what the best platform for doing this type of stuff is, but I thought I would just jump in, and I think it shows that uh, NFTs are more than just art. There are ways to make money, and there are ways to use them that add utility to other financial systems and tools. So that was just something I think is worth mentioning to everybody, because it caught me off guard as not understanding it fully, and I'm starting to do the research and understand so that I'm better informed on what is happening throughout the entire NFT landscape. Chromie Squiggles continue to just rise up higher and higher. I bet you if I refresh this, 3.67 Squiggle is no longer there, just based on how many people are buying. I guess not. It's still there. Although we did see a couple of these get snagged up, I guess the better looking ones. So we're almost at a 4 ETH floor. I don't see this stopping. I think more and more people are buying in. It is the Genesis project for one of the most blue chip collections of projects. So it's going to have that provenance, that like originality, that place in history, if you might say, forever. So yeah, this has just been bought up across the board. Floor almost at 4. Every other type of denomination of Squiggles, whether it's fuzzy, ribbed, pipe, hyper, all being bought up over the last 24 hours, having some of the one of the highest volumes throughout the entire NFT space yesterday. Crazy to see that. I think the floor just continues to go up. I don't see this stopping. I do think that this is a project where if we go into a bear market, yeah, you'll have some paper hands, people selling out, but it will be instantaneously picked up by people who have that long-term conviction. That's what I've just heard across the board, is that people believe in it, they believe in it, they don't think it's going anywhere. There's no reason it shouldn't be bought up, it shouldn't be held. As more and more people learn about the space and they realize like here's like the project, one of the projects to own, they will make that purchase. So very interesting. Quick comment. Obviously, it is early morning here on the West Coast. I asked people about coffee. One of the big ones that Dee's recommended was Commentier. I don't have any links or anything to give you guys. Just thought it would be worth mentioning because everybody talks about it. Punk.eth was bought yesterday for a whopping 30 ETH, which is insane. Will be interesting to see how this plays out. I was looking through the highest ENS sales. We saw some sales roll in like a while ago. Like Amazon.eth sold for 100 ETH. I think we saw like Google. There were like a ton of other ones that were between like 30 and 100. I think these are all very speculative plays, so I wouldn't go out and buy like an insane ENS domain, like priced ENS domain. Right now, I think it's very speculative unless you are like, yes, I have utility for that. It's why I went and bought Meebits. Like, I don't think that somebody's going to come pay me for it, but I have ways to use that and build off of it that I think I'll add value. Also, another notable sale that we saw yesterday morning's show, I mentioned, look at 3D Meebits. I think somebody's trying to buy into them. I was apparently proven right as we saw this sale roll in this morning for almost 80 ETH on this Mohawk 3D glyph pants Meebit. I think this will possibly age very well. I think that Meebits are just being consumed more and more. I don't see it stopping. I see it just increasing. Anything Larva Labs right now is just being bought up across the board. Another notable thing that I saw, Miami Heat dropping an NFT project, but they're doing it on a shared contract, but they have the money. I think this is something that a lot of projects and companies can avoid in the future. Like, this is why you need to work with experienced people that know what they're doing, that have an understanding of the space, because like the Miami Heat could have one of the best NFTs, the best artwork, some of the best like experience options. So like if you own one, you can go play with the team during like practice or something. Like that would be crazy. But I think long term, not doing it on your own contract takes away from some of the value there. And as we start to see the industry mature and things change and things are going to die off, I think owning your own contract makes the most sense in the long term. I'm looking at Manifold, like they preach this. So interesting to see that. I think it's just another example of why working with experienced people is important. Off of that note, Richard announcing the collaboration with Thank You X and Hans Zimmer. Very cool. Got to hear a little bit from Thank You X yesterday. I talked to him. The project definitely has a lot of meaning, and it's interesting to see from like an artistic perspective of not only like art and sound and kind of like some psychology stuff happening there as well, but like them using their own contract and what they have planned going forward for that. So super cool, excited for them. Um, on another cool note of what I saw yesterday, I saw this amazing song come out from Spotty Wi-Fi. Spotty Wi-Fi, obviously being one of the most premier rappers within the NFT space. It's a banger. I enjoyed it. Go give a listen. Check him out if you don't know what he does. Happy that he puts out such cool content for everybody. He definitely deserves some love. Just hopping into the current activity, seeing the Bored Ape Yacht Club floor just off of 5 right now. I'm not sure if that's the most accurate. We've been seeing that floor can be a little off. That's on the main page. So yeah, it's way off. The actual floor being 6 ETH right now. I think this is going to 10. Honestly, like it's just getting bought up. I'm sure there are some. I know that there are people working their asses off right now on this project for independent projects. I know that the Bored Ape Yacht Club team is working their butts off on what they have planned on utility. I think it's gonna take like one other notable kind of like sale or somebody doing something with their ape or another celebrity buying an ape to set this. It's just like legs up to 10. It's solidified itself. Like I think that's just what we've seen. Like we're seeing the most reliable projects just get bought up and their price floors, rise. And that's what we're seeing right now with this project. Bored Ape Kennel Club. I think it's going to be the same kind of story here for what we're seeing on the floor. And as far as like where it's going, so the floor is still just under 1, getting bought up, not too much to push it over 1. But I think if we look at like what's happening on the activity side of things, we're starting to see people get out of that floor to 1 ETH range and start to push up towards the 2 ETH range as people pick up more valuable dogs, because who knows what the utility is exactly going to be. But that speculative bet is most likely going to play off because it's such a like love project. I think it's just another example of like the airdrop. After an airdrop, pullback, there's consolidation, and then at some point that there's a floor kind of levels off, people pack their bags, and then we see a pump up, and then it takes that one little piece of news to send the price way higher. We've seen it like 10 times already. Just my kind of take. As I said, Chromie Squiggles floor sitting at like 3.5, almost on its way to 4. Oh my God, look at this. Jimmy, what are you doing? That definitely had to be a private sale or something. Chromie Squiggle selling for 0.36 right there. Just lots of activity. I mean, look at this. Like, this is the last 20, 30 minutes. We're just seeing art blocks be consumed. This guy, Von Doe, absolutely aping in right now. If you go through the activity tab on OpenSea for our blocks, you can just see that there are people who are absolutely aping into this project or this collection across the board. So do not sleep on our blocks. The top is not in, it doesn't look like. So with Meebits, we're currently looking still around that 2 ETH floor. Seeing more and more Meebit sales come in. Again, another sale of a 3D Meebit, 3D glasses Meebit. There's that 80 that we talked about earlier. I think that again, Meebits are just going to be bought up. There'll be an announcement, send the price higher. The most like sought after ones that are like valued higher with punks. So like anything that is like hoodie related is going to be probably worth more. Anything that is rare, like the pigs, the elephants, is going to be worth more. Um, and so I think there are some arbitrage opportunities right now within Meebits if you do your research. It's obviously going to cost you a couple ETH, but if we look at like the historic value of punks of certain attributes and what rose over time, I think there are some Meebits that uh, like the price hasn't been correctly priced in, or that there's certain attributes that there are buying opportunities to buy low and then sell high as that price rises. Um, so just looking at the floor for Meebits real quick, seeing the Meebits floor currently sit just under two. It's going to take a little bit to get to two. And then I think, again, I've said this in other shows, getting from two back to mint price is going to take, like, that is going to take some kind of announcement to really drive FOMO buyers of the floor. And then once we get there, I think most of the pricing of people who are just trying to get even or get out of Meebits, then it gets really exciting because you're mostly out of people that just want it out, they don't want in, and now you have either long-term holders mostly holding, or people who are excited to just jump in the project and be part of it because there's a big announcement happening. So that's when you'll likely see like an exponential rise in price. Cool Cats over the last 24 hours doing insane amount of selling. Floor is sitting just around zero point 0.6 right now. So we did have a pullback after yesterday's hype. Um, Whatever the announcement is from Ghost and Cool Cats is going to likely either send this floor price down quite a bit, or it's going to send this floor price up quite a bit. And I mean that in, if it's just like a, hey, we're going to launch another project and it doesn't matter if you have Cool Cats or not, then like why own a Cool Cat? A lot of the people that bought yesterday just bought because it's speculation. Um, and they're gonna like probably want to just get out. Like they don't believe in it. They're just there for the FOMO. So if they bought it like zero point 0.6, 0.55, they'll list 0.5, 0.4 just to get out and say, okay, I made the gamble, took a zero point 0.1 hit. So we'll see that floor come back. And if there is an announcement that you need to have a Cool Cat for whatever's happening with that collab, likely you'll just see even more people FOMO in who didn't want to make that 0.6 ETH bet yesterday. So I like the Cats. I think it's a long-term project. It's starting to solidify itself. I'm very excited to see what happens with the project. Taking a quick look at Fame Ladies. The floor is certainly lower. There are prices to be had. I purchased one yesterday off the floor just to put it in the vault and play around. Definitely could have gotten a better price of that. But I think it's just seen across the board that this project still has some demand. Hopefully, the demand does not dry up. There's certain attributes that are obviously going for more, and I have a feeling that this project has some more like leg room to grow up higher and see what happens as far as like innovation. I still think it's great because it's all female. And that stands out from what we've seen across the board. So the floor likely right now around zero point 0.1, I believe. Just off of that, it's about 0.13. And most people look to have these listed around 0.15. So if there's some buying opportunity there, we'll see the floor go back to 0.15 pretty quickly. Goats still the same floor every single morning of 0.09. Not too much craziness happening with these. I think it's just pulling back off of that initial drop. And yeah, I think there's been some FUD thrown here. Not sure what's gonna happen. I would definitely keep an eye on who's buying, who's selling, just to get an idea of where this is going. If we see accumulation happening with a big name, then that might indicate this getting pumped by somebody, and you can play that bet. But I'm not seeing anything right now that looks like people are aping in or picking off from big names right now. Hopefully that project has legs and remains long term. Same thing with Deadhead, same floor as yesterday, sitting around like 0.19. Same story as every day, almost. The more rare tokens getting purchased for higher prices, the floor having the most liquidity, and I guess people making their bets long term. Another project where if an announcement comes out of like an animated series or different utility or something that wasn't expected off of that initial roadmap, I can see this floor getting absolutely gobbled up, and seeing us go to the high point one or like zero point 0.5 to 1 ETH floor as everybody tries to buy in if they think it's going to be a long term project. So right now, I think it's just kind of people being cautious with their purchases. Ghost just continuing to have lots of sales that are very expensive. All the Zodiacs now selling for at least 4 ETH, and a lot of the Lunars also selling for that price range. Even seeing a Dragon, which could have been picked up yesterday for a little less than we're seeing now. I think you could have picked one of these up for like 4 ETH, selling for 6.5. So some arbitrage opportunities with this project. It's going to be a long-term one, I think. I think the Ghost team and the founder has so much planned, and he treats this project like his baby. So I know that there would never be a decision made that would be money first. It's definitely going to be community and like the integrity of the project over everything. So still price action there. VFriends floor still around 4 ETH. The last couple hours here, nothing too notable, just core sales, everything down, and then a single spec selling for 16 ETH and a hard trooper there for another 15. That's a good sell. I think that's a decent buy. Definitely some price profit opportunity there. And then us seeing a gift goat at 20 and a half. Oh, will we see the gift goats go under 20 again? Possibly. I think every day that there is less kind of announcement around the gift goats, there might be some people that just want to cash out, not knowing what that first gift is. I think the first announcement of that gift sends gift goats crazy higher. I also think that with whatever announcement spectaculars get, which are the one of ones, I know there's going to be some utility, or you get some extra kind of swag, or it gets you into certain things at the conference. Like spectaculars are going to have kind of extra like love from the team. Whenever that is announced, I expect that sales price to go from like 15 up to 20, 25, just because people want that extra kind of like ability. So that's what I expect there. Yesterday, we saw the snapshot happen with the comics, the floor dropping from 1.17 all the way down to 0.8. This is just paper, like people who see the prices high, they want to stay until the snapshot, getting out, and then it just looks like they're like, I'm noticing with who is buying, these are people that either have owned before and they didn't want to pay like the 1.2, and they're seeing a 20%, 40% discount, and they're just buying it now. So we might see this drop further back. I don't know. We might go to 0.5. I would not sell. I would just simply look for buying opportunities. I think this price comes right back as we get to the burning staking kind of event. Where that happens, it's going to be the same exact scenario as an airdrop, where everybody, like, sales are going to dry up, less are going to be listed for sale, people will have decisions made, and then FOMO kicks in for people who want to participate who aren't, or want to double down on their bet, and are saying, hey, I can spend 1.5 ETH to get one of these, and in a year, not only will I make that back on staking, but I'll be able to also liquidate that and double my money. So a lot of those kind of like price and financial decisions are going to be made. I don't think the price drops back to the low like 0.3s that we saw before. We'll never go back to that. But if we do drop further from here, it's just a buying opportunity for people who want more and believe in the project and believe in meta heroes and believe in what Pixel Vault as a whole is doing. Gutter Cat Gang still around that 1 ETH floor. Seeing some sales come in for under that, but we're also seeing sales roll in for up to 6.5 ETH, and some other sales I think yesterday roll in for well over 1 ETH. This is just another example of I think the people that own and are going to own for a long time aren't selling, and I think the people that want to get in are just looking to get in for as cheap as possible because they do believe in the project, but they don't want to spend 4 or 5 ETH. So we'll see what happens there. I don't think we've seen any sales on Twin Flames. I believe this is going to chill out for a little bit. Us seeing Fungible make a purchase yesterday for 12, or 2 days ago for 12. The price floor sitting around 14, and I think that there are people who own this are never going to sell. I don't know if I'm ever going to sell my Twin Flames. I think that this is a project that long term, like 5 years from now, is still valued at 20 to 50 grand at a minimum. If not, I can see this project per photo being $250,000. Just talking in dollar wise, as people who are likely going to be analyzing this project to purchase in the next 5 years are people who are coming in to the space looking for what is like the most historic, like generative art, what is the most historic collectible, and what is the most historic photography collection. That would be this. I think it solidified itself as like the photography project in the space. So it's earned the blue chip stamp from me. I believe it's got the legs as well. So pegs are interesting, coming from Matt Fury, and there will be an auction that's happening today. These are insane. Like I've seen people pick these up for under for like well under floor, or like steal them essentially. These are not gonna go for cheap though. It's just part of like the culture, and owning like a historic one of one or something that is like historically valuable in this sense is going to just age well. So seeing OSF, Gareth, other very notable names, seeing D's pop in here, like these will age well. We'll see these sell for double digits on the resale. Gas is going to be insane. Just crazy to see that happening. Pop Wonder editions floor still sitting, just at one or under one on certain editions. Seeing the higher editioned ones fetch like 0.5 here. SOS selling for half an ETH. I do think that we might see some sell off for people that want to cash in. They think the top is in, and they want to profit and move those profits into other stuff. I do think this has like very long term like value hold, just because Pop Wonder has started to solidify himself as truly a talented artist, and one that is sought after by some of the biggest names. In addition, just allowing people to get in. It is essentially fractionalized art, so I'm excited for that. Forgotten Runes. So this is still like one of those projects that's chilling. If we look at the chart, we see that obvious like down from mint. Now we're kind of on that like lull of not a ton of buying, not a ton of selling, no announcements. And now we have this uptrend where that it could stop here, and we volume and sales price drops again. The interesting thing here is I am seeing this 13th, like September, or not September, July 13th and 14th. If you go look at a lot of charts, you can see that there was a lot of buying on the 13th and 14th on certain projects. And obviously like 14 ETH is not a insane purchase day, but for others that only have like 3 or 4, this seems to be a little bit of an anomaly and an outlier. So I'm curious to who was buying on the 13th on this project, why they were. Obviously there are people coming in and buying still well off of the floor at like 0.7, 0.8. The floor sitting at like 0.06 right now. So I think this is just another project that sets itself up for people are packing bags. It's cheap to get into. If you buy a bunch for 0.06 and the floor goes to 0.6, you have a 10 bagger very easily in the in play. So it'll be curious to watch what happens here in the next couple weeks. Punk's floor pulling back just a little bit, like 0.15 when I say a little bit. Floor still sitting at 20 ETH. Floor, there are a couple purchases on the floor that I would consider. The two that I was considering buying yesterday, obviously getting snagged, making me sad. I like the punks. Punks are never going anywhere. It's probably the most blue chip of all the blue chips. Over the last day, seeing mostly sales roll in around the floor to 40. So the 20 to 30, 20 to 40 mark having the most sales. Nice albino VR pickup there. Some nice glasses pickups. Just cool stuff. Like there is no shortage of sales or liquidity with punks, and it's certainly going to be one of those things that people always want to have in their wallet because it defines you as an OG or as owning one of the most sought after collections within NFTs. Taking a quick look at crypto market overall, Bitcoin and Ethereum not doing too much over the last 24 hours, still kind of like floundering around within their range of like for Ethereum around like 1900 to 2000, just chilling out there, not doing too much. I saw an interesting post by Beanie yesterday saying that lumber prices are a good future indicator of Ethereum price, which has to be one of the craziest like indicators I've seen. It does make sense from like an economy standpoint and where is money going. I do know that California is mandating the return of masks on Sunday as we see different COVID variants start to make a play. So, and again, I try not to make too many like comments on price or like politics or whatnot. But if we do see like lockdowns start to come across, it does start to pose the question of, okay, if COVID and the economy is about to retract, what does this do? One, for the price of Ethereum, but most interestingly, like if anybody who trades like crypto or has played with altcoins knows that it is there are two kind of it's like a seesaw. If like one goes up, another can go down. If one goes down, another can go up. If we see the price of Ethereum tank, it's going to be interesting because it makes Ethereum cheaper, and now NFTs are cheaper to purchase for people. Do we see certain projects pump in that case, or do we see certain projects where people just don't want to be holding the bag short term or be exposed like that dump? So it could be, for some people, they could be like one dump of Ethereum away from being able to aggregate some of the most expensive bags and most high return bags possible. We also could see the very opposite happen, where if ETH dumps, people are looking at selling off for double what they currently hold as far as ETH is concerned. So that is definitely something I would consider and try to understand. The biggest thing is have a plan. Like, know if something happens and a certain scenario happens, what are you going to do? Like, don't wait until it happens. Like, no, hey, if ETH dumps, I know I'm going to hold. Like, I'm set up. I know I can make it through. If ETH pumps and it goes up, here's what I'm going to sell at. If this NFT project dumps, I'm going to hold or I'm going to dump. Like, that's what you need to understand. Don't wait till it happens and it's too late and you make a FOMO decision. Remove all the emotions and make an informed and calculated decision. With that said, that is today's show. I hope everybody is having a good one, had a good week. It was certainly a wild one. I'll try to put out something over the weekend. If not, I'll see you guys on Monday. And as always, have a good one. Love you all and catch you on the next one.